Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So Angus and I just wanted to let everybody know that our hearts go out to all those that have been impacted by the fires, and I put some links above, so if you want to make a contribution and help out, then those are some suggested resources to go to.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what to say about that. I mean, we were out of town, and we didn't get to participate in that evacuation panic that seemed to go down. From what I hear in our community, the sheriff was going around knocking on the door, and everybody was rushing out with their goods and chattels and getting the hell out of here, and we weren't a part of that. But
well, what we did have is our teenage daughter at home while we were away. Well, we had our house sitter that was looking after our daughter and the pets, but our daughter decided to go to her friend's house, and our house sitter took the pets. But we asked our daughter to pick up some things that were important documents, and I think she found about 2 of them.
yeah, probably I think the makeup was the priority, and passports and deeds and goodness knows what else we needed were
lower down on her list.
Lower down on the pecking order, which I guess is why we decided. Well, actually, I decided I put you under a lot of duress to do this, but we were away for the weekend, but we came back into town. When did we come back onto town?
Well, that's also interesting because we were coming back into town on Sunday, and I said, let's just stop in Palm Springs and stay overnight. And you really wanted to rush back here, and I didn't know where we were going to stay, what we were going to do. And I thought, you know, how important it was to just kind of have a peaceful, settled state of mind before we sort of found out what we were dealing with.
Yeah, and I guess I had all weekend been following the fire maps that were online, and as far as I could ascertain through my research, it always seemed to be several miles away from us, from our house, and I don't know, I was really attached to getting our documentation for whatever reason. I just really was bugging me that was in the house. So in my mind, I wanted to at least see if I could just come in and out, just get the documentation and then leave. And so that was always at the back of my mind. I don't know why that I was so attached to that, you know, for all the things that we have here that are important to us. I don't know. I feel like deeds and passports, etc., were something that you know, everybody else seemed to be getting and we hadn't. Mm-hmm. So then I guess we did stay in Palm Springs on Sunday night, which actually was a really good thing to do, and we weren't, you know, exposed to the smoke, which I understand was really, you know, that the air quality was really bad here from what I understand from the people I'd spoken to who did stay behind. But then on Monday when we got back, we snuck in and. And my only intention was actually just to sort of get the goods and then leave immediately. But then when we got here, there were obviously other people who stayed behind, and there was no smoke. You couldn't smell the smoke. You couldn't see the smoke. Couldn't see anything. And you know, we did go to the overlook and look around. We decided just to stay that one night, and then the following day the restrictions had been lifted from our zone. But it was so bizarre coming in, because it was just like coming into this sort of post-apocalyptic world where there are all these homes and no people, and even just, you know, going through the forest. In fact, you know, taking a dirt road to get in, which I hasten to add was on the other side of the canyon, miles away from the fire. But it was deserted. It was really strange, you know, going up that what generally is a very busy canyon. There's nobody on it, and then coming into the community, and you know, obviously there was no one home. It was just a really strange experience. But as I say, Rohini was much more concerned with.
Even with you talking about it now, I feel terrible. Like,
You
I don't
do?
even want you talking about it. It's like, I mean, I didn't want us to be split up. I'll take responsibility that I said yes, but it's like I still get tight in my stomach.
Because we were basically naughty children.
We didn't follow the rules.
I know,
I
but
like to follow the rules.
Right, I know. And I was willing to follow the rules, but for whatever reason, I was really concerned about the documentation, and I felt that it was really safe to return. If I felt there was any element of doubt around that, I wouldn't have even considered it. But judging where the fire was and how easy it is for us in terms of our proximity to the canyon road, it would have been very easy to go straight back down. And that was always at the back of my mind.
Well, it's just interesting for me to, it's like, yeah, you have like a whole thought process around it. But internally for me, it's like, if they say don't go in, I don't go in.
Right.
I don't even think about any of that stuff. I just follow the rule.
You don't like to break the rules.
I don't like to break the rules.
I guess I have a penchant for a little bit of rule breaking.
I think you do.
But no, I understand it, that obviously, I guess, I do see the other side of the coin in the sense that the fire department and the authorities want to not find themselves in a situation where they're having to sort of suddenly be concerned with evacuating people who've decided to stay put. And maybe people getting in the way of the logistics in terms of, the roads getting blocked, etc. So I do understand that angle. I just felt that by Sunday, it seemed like it was...
This was Monday.
Monday, 4 days later, and the fire had still remained in the same place. That it seemed like it was really safe for us who were in Zone 1, which is right on the perimeter of the zonal system. Before you get into a more urban environment, it just felt like it was safe. Had we lived in the middle of the forest, then no way would I consider going back. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, I wanted my passport. I did. And the deed to the house. And whatever else we could grab hold of, paperwork.
Well, I guess since we weren't home when this all went down, I figured we would just deal with whatever we had to deal with if anything happened. We would just replace all that stuff. All that matters is that our children and pets were safe.
Yeah. And then I was, but yeah, no, absolutely. Paperwork, I think that's really all you can take.
No, I'm saying not to worry about the paperwork.
No, I was just thinking, I just had this ridiculous thought. I remember once at one point thinking, oh, maybe I should take my Gucci shoes. What about that? And then I thought, well, there's just no end to the things.
I had no idea you were so attached to those shoes.
I'm not, but I did have a thought. It's like, well, where would it all end? What else would you put in the car? If you were in that situation on Friday when the sheriff's knocking on your door, and I've spoken to people in the community now, and people like you say, they said it was really strange because everyone was rushing out their houses, kind of not knowing what to take with them and throwing things in the car. It's like, what would you throw in the car in that situation? Mm-hmm. I mean, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
And I guess you draw the line with just important paperwork, and the rest of it is just, it's just things you don't really need that can be replaced. Mm-hmm. You were more attached to the photos.
Yes. I
Yeah.
thought, why, if I would have grabbed our photo albums.
Yeah.
And then I thought, why haven't we scanned them?
I guess the thing to do is one would make a list of things that one would take and have it all in one specific area.
Well, we can do that now.
Yeah.
But again, we feel very fortunate for our circumstance, and we know that many people have suffered very different experience, and so really we send our love, and we encourage people to contribute in whatever ways make sense.
We do, because people have suffered dramatically. I've heard all sorts of stories about people having to, basically protect their home with a fire hose and lose good portions of it. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, our experience has been really, there's nothing really that we can complain about. People are moaning about the fact that there's no internet. And really, that's kind of the least of our worries. We have our house, and our community is intact, mm-hmm. and as also as much of Topanga. Yeah. And Malibu has basically been, all that forest. I think it's 80% of the Santa Monica Mountains the forest has disappeared. So it was really, the fire department had done an extraordinary job, an amazing job to contain it and stop it moving in our direction.
Absolutely.
So you have to be so grateful for that.
Yeah. So a lot to be grateful for. Hope you feel grateful this weekend. Take care.
Bye.